Hello, children. Today I'm going to tell you the story called The Kingdom of Singing Birds by Miriam, Aroner, and Shelly, Haas. So, once upon a time, in a faraway little village, there lived a gentle rabbi named Zusia. And Zusia was always wondering about his world. And he was wandering about his world also. He'd come across the first spring flowers in their hiding places. And he would walk and he would find rocks that nobody else thought were special. And he would climb mountains that everybody else was too busy or too tired to climb. And he would find birds in their nesting places. And Zusia was always asking questions. He'd sit upon the hill with other rabbis and he'd say, where does the sun go when it sets? And what's beyond the moon and the stars? Why do things fall down instead of up? And Zusia learned about his world, and he grew wise in the ways of nature. And people began to come to him. If their cow didn't give milk, Zusia knew what to do. If their orchards didn't bear fruit, Zusia knew what to tell them to do so their orchards would bear fruit. Now, in this kingdom, there was a new king. Now this king, like his father, the former king, and his father's father, the old king, collected there was booby and cuckoo and quetzal and coot and a bobolink and chickadee and parakeet and goose. There was dicky bird and chickadee, curlew and crane, widgeon and pigeon and bluebird and jay. And these birds were beautiful, but they didn't sing. And this troubled the king, for he loved his birds as much for their beauty as he did for their sound. But there was no sound, just as there was no sound from his father's birds, or no sound from his father's father's birds. And what can I do? What can I do to make my birds sing? He called his advisors. And they advised him, well, go find them treats. And so the advisors went looking for treats, and they brought back the crunchiest seeds and nuts and the juiciest berries. But the birds still did not sing. And so his advisor said, well, go find fresh spring water. And so the advisors went, and they found the freshest spring water from the mountains, and they gave it to the birds. But the birds still did not sing. And so the advisor said, well, go get the mates And so they went up into the mountains, the advisors did, and they brought back mates, friends for the birds, and they put the birds in the aviary, in the bird house. But the birds did not sing. So the advisors advised, well, build up the aviary even taller and put jewels upon it. And so the aviary was built even taller, and the fanciest jewels were brought and put upon the aviary, the most glittering jewels in the kingdom, gold and rubies and jade, and now the birds had things glittery to look at and places to fly, but did they sing? No. So the king says, I will give a barrel of gold to anybody who can make my birds sing. And so to the kingdom came magicians to try to make the birds sing, and they did tricks, but the birds did not sing, and acrobats came and tumbled, and jugglers juggled, and clowns stumbled, fiddlers fiddled, but the birds did not sing. Even a witch came and cast a spell upon those birds, but the birds did not sing. What can I do? What can I do? Well, his advisors said, we have heard of a gentle rabbi named Zusia who lives in a far-off village, and he gets chickens to lay eggs even when no others can. Perhaps this Zusia can make your birds sing. And so his advisors were sent to get Zusia, and they walked through rivers and up mountains and through forests until they came to the village where Zusia was, and they called him to the kingdom. Oh, Zusia was frightened. He had never been out of his village. But he did know what he knew, and when a king calls, a wise man follows. And so Zusia did begin to follow the advisors through the rivers and through the forests, and as he was walking up the mountains and through the forests and up and over the rivers, he listened to what he heard, and he looked at what he saw. And when Zusia came to the kingdom, he saw the birds. He saw tree birds and seabirds, red, white, and blue, snowbirds and shorebirds, so beautiful to view. From India, Arabia, the whole world around, a rainbow of colors, but alas, not a sound. And the king asked Zusia, 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 how can my birds sing? Well, Zusia said to the king, you will not like what I have to tell you. Well, tell it to me anyway. Tell it to me anyway, says the king. Well, says Zusia, if you would like your birds to sing, you must let them go. Let them go? But my birds, my treasures, my father kept birds, and my father's fathers kept birds. Yes, says Zusia, but did your father's birds and your father's father's birds sing? No, but if I let them go, I might lose them. Well, says Zusia, you are the new king, and you must do things a new way, your way. Yes, but my father's father and my father, they kept the birds just in this aviary. And I am the new king, aren't I? And I can do things my own way. And I do want those birds to sing. And so, the king, very gently, opened up part of the aviary, and out flew one of the birds. And it flew away, and he opened the aviary just a little more, and another bird flew out. And it flew away, and he opened the aviary even wider, and another bird flew off. And it flew. And have you heard it? Have you seen it? The eagle and the egret, the linnet and the loon, the oriole, the whippoorwill, the nightingale, the dove, the plover, the hawk, the widgeon, the pigeon, the bluebird, the jay, the curlew, the bobolink. I hear my birds, and I can open this aviary. And he opened it wide. And all the birds began to fly away. And some of them did fly away. I'm a free little bird as I can be. I'm a free little bird as I can be. I'm gonna sing all day, and then I'll fly away. But I'll come back to my kingdom where I'm free. And this kingdom did become known as the kingdom of singing birds. And some of them did fly away, but many of them came back. And Zusia was given a reward for his work. Zusia gave it to the people in the village that needed it. Perhaps they needed a new home. Perhaps they needed more food. Perhaps he could give them clothing. But he helped them. And sometimes the king would call Zusia for more advice. And Zusia would come. But every time he traveled, he would take a different route so as he could learn new things. And that's the end of the story. See you next time.